Quote, as I look back on my life, I see it as one long obstacle course, with myself as the main obstacle. End quote. Jack Parr was right, wasn't he? We're our own biggest problems. We have what's required to increase our level of consciousness, but we don't believe it. Why? We uncritically attach to false beliefs that we picked up haphazardly that keep us stuck. So, we wind up doubting ourselves and often damaging our self-esteem. Then we ignore what we should be doing and settle for incessant distractions. We become reluctant even to try to boost our levels of consciousness because we fear failing. We wind up living a termite lifestyle, believing that our lives could collapse at any moment. I'm proof of that myself. Even though I'd been a member of MENSA, held a doctorate in philosophy, and was a tenured professor teaching philosophy and humanities, my wife of 14 years dumped me for another guy and left for Florida with him. Whoa! I was emotionally devastated. It also greatly embarrassed me to have to admit that it was my own fault. For example, until then, I'd never read one single book on how to create a successful relationship. I'd arrogantly assumed that I knew it all. Not surprisingly, my consciousness level about love was much lower than it should have been. Life humbled me. I wish I'd known then the secrets I've learned since. If you've ever been, or might be, in a similar situation, here are 3 simple, effective tips for beginning to get out of your own way. First, accept 100% responsibility for your situation. Stop any whining, complaining, or blaming others. This will help you junk beliefs that aren't serving you well. Life doesn't come with a manual on how to live it well. The inevitable result is that we all wind up with fundamental positionalities that need to be replaced. We all make mistakes, which is how experience teaches us, open to evolving. Second, decide that there's nothing essentially wrong with you. You are not inherently defective. You do not need fundamental fixing. As the vocalist Ethel Waters said, quote, I am somebody, 'cause God don't make no junk, end quote. Third, understand that it's nearly certain that your fundamental attitude toward life is fear rather than love. For example, do you suffer from prolonged unwanted emotions such as shame, guilt, grief, or anger? If so, the good news is that every prolonged unwanted emotion can be dissolved completely when you learn how. That's almost always the best place to begin elevating your level of consciousness. Also, those emotions all ultimately come from a fundamental attitude of fear that elevating your fundamental level of consciousness can replace with a fundamental attitude of love. Doing that replaces emotional heaviness with lightness and joy. Doing that replaces incessant seriousness with playfulness and fun. I'm a certified life coach who helps clients boost their levels of consciousness. That's my specialty. How? It's based on a simple yet profound fact. You already have everything required to be happy and live well. The real problem is that you're obstructed from realizing that. I coach people how to dissolve all those obstructions. For example, I'm able to teach you quickly, conveniently, and inexpensively the best technique for dissolving prolonged unwanted emotions. To learn more, go to endfearfast.com. You'll quickly discover both free and inexpensive options for realizing more of your potential. If you'd prefer more after that, I also offer a much more expensive option. Seriously, there's no good reason to wait to feel and live better. Best wishes, Dennis Bradford.